Hello, and welcome to the Holistic Living, Learning, and Loving podcast, where we are bringing you back to the basics.
We explore sustainable living and holistic health and strive for progress, not perfection.
So please join us on a wellness journey and feel empowered to make positive changes in your life.
Hey guys, welcome back. We are so glad you're with us today. As a reminder, please like, subscribe, share with a friend if you like what you're hearing. Go back, check out some of our older episodes. We talked about so many different things, so just figure out what you're resonating with and tune into that one. So getting back to the holidays, we have an excellent one about holiday slow living. And then to take that a little step further, actually, this topic we had decided on first about just slow living. And then we kind of, before Thanksgiving, we changed it to living slow in the holidays.
I thought it was like a minimalistic holiday.
Oh, minimalistic holidays. That's right. So today we're just going to talk about slow living and all these different things. It's something that Rachel and I are really passionate about. We've been trying to do it ourselves. It's hard, but it's a good battle to have because, in the United States especially, we just have to be the best and we have to make the most money and hustle all the time. Huh?
Just hustle all the time.
Hustle. And it's like we're conditioned to be like that. Oh, well, he doesn't have hustle. He doesn't have drive. We don't want to be that. We want to be entrepreneurs and, have all the nice things. Nothing is ever good enough.
Yeah, everything tells us that it's bad to slow down and just relax.
Yes, like you're lazy, all these negative things are associated with it. But in actuality, I really think it's the hustler mentality that is just so much more toxic than the relaxed person who is more connected,
Right. And we're not talking about being lazy and sitting on the sofa all day.
Like playing video games all day.
Yeah, that is not what we mean.
We're talking about using our time to connect. It's kind of like slow down and connect.
Like
or
meaningful,
do self-care.
Purposeful living.
Yes. Doing things that improve your life.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I just don't understand. Well, I guess I do understand why we work so damn hard all the time is because of this capitalistic society. We have to work to afford all this stuff that we need to buy all the time, and make other people rich.
Yeah.
And so it makes other people rich and we're brainwashed into that mentality.
Well, everybody just idolizes money and material items. Everybody wants the name brand clothes, the name brand shoes, the nice car, the nice house. And we're just been conditioned to think that that's what's important. So much so that we spend our entire prime of our adult lives away from our families, working. And especially like usually the more successful you are, the more you're away from your family.
Yeah.
We have both parents out of the house most of the time. Also that we could just pay for all of the things we want just so that we could have a nice house. And I think it's like we really have to start. And I was like that too. I finally, Nick and I, we got sober. We wanted to get a house and a car, like be like the normal people, like we made it, or like we're doing what everybody else, what we're supposed to do. And then we got the house, got a good car. And now I'm like, I don't want any of this crap. Like what was I thinking? And now I just want Nick home and I would live in a tent. It's just, we have, not that everybody should want to live in a tent, but we could live with so much less and have such better quality of lives. We all have so many people's relationships in the United States, especially what's the word I'm looking for? Are fractured or just in turmoil or just in a bad status or bad state. Our relationships suck here. And it's because we don't focus on them. They're not our priority.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be the number one priority.
Yes. Like I'd go down the list and think about my relationships and what I need to do to foster those. And I think that's more important than trying to hustle and make all kind of money. I was doing that too. And I was really obsessed with that for a long time. And just recently I've decided that stuff is just not like, I can't even bring myself to do it.
Yeah, I know. If I had to go back to work, not that I wouldn't or couldn't, but it would just be so different. I'd be so distraught just because it's just not making money is like, we
It's not
obviously
it.
have to have it, but I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. It's just not like, I have so much like deeper um goals within me, you know?
Yeah,
And it'd
deeper
be so
work to
sad to
do.
me to have to put that to the side to go make money,
Yes. No,
you
but
know?
we're lucky. Not everybody is so lucky
Yeah,
as that for sure.
definitely. I know.
But and it's not even like, but we talk about money and needing to make money, but we're needing to make excess money to pay for stuff that we don't need, and
Right.
that is not the answer. And then also, overscheduling ourselves, overscheduling our kids by putting them in all the sports and all the activities, like that's also, we need to be at home more together more, not sending everybody off to do their own thing, you
Yeah,
know.
especially when you're at work all day, your kids are
Yeah.
at school all day, and then they get home, they barely even have time to change their clothes or eat a snack, and you have to go to practices, and you're not back home until dark, and nobody has time for dinner or anything.
Yeah.
It's
And I don't understand it because it's not like you can do something with them. You might be there, you're there, but you're not connecting with them.
yeah,
And I hate to hear when people are so overscheduled, and I'm like, you're missing out.
really, we really are. And you just don't have time to even think, to even process life.
Yeah,
We
it's just
really
you're going
need to
on
have
rapid speed.
Yeah, we need to have time to just sit and think and process what's going on. I mean,
Yeah.
how can you even make proper decisions or even evaluate what's most important to you or even know who you are on the inside? Like, who are you really? What do you really want in life? What's really most important to you? You don't even have time to think about that or even consider it because you're just moving so fast and you're just surviving.
Yeah, and then you end up getting burned out, midlife crisis, trying to find something that makes you feel good because you've ignored it for so long and you don't even know what it is. I hear so many people say that I don't even know what I want anymore.
Yeah, because they don't. They don't have time to focus on anything but work and taking care of their kids, surviving, you know?
Yeah.
And then everybody gets divorced because their relationships are struggling. They don't have time to focus on their relationships. They have
Mm-hmm.
bad relationships with their children, you know? And it's
Parents.
not their fault. It's just this is what we were told we were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And nobody knows how to really, like, a lot of people can't see outside of it because they're just so stuck in survival mode.
Yeah. Mike and I were talking yesterday when we were driving home about AI and robots and stuff, and how, that's replacing so many jobs. There's a futurist that talked about how eventually we're only going to be working a couple of days a week because there's no need to work anymore because all these other more efficient machines are doing it.
Yeah.
So then at that point, maybe there will be a huge shift in society where we're not doing that. I hope it's not just like the have and the have nots.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a scary thing. It's like we just don't, it could go in totally different directions. You know, it could be really good, it could be really bad. Who knows? Hopefully, it'll be really good.
Yeah, I would hope that it would be almost like a social security kind of thing, but for everyone. Like everybody just has enough to,
Yeah, to
have what you
just
need. But then I guess people say that's like weird, oh God, the political
socialism
socialism. I think that's like
where
basically what I'm
everybody
talking
has the
about.
same thing.
Yeah, but the jobs will be filled, everything's getting done,
I don't.
so
I don't think it has to be like socialism though, but it's like all of the jobs that nobody wants to do that makes you work so hard and everything that will be getting done, but we could still, I'm sure, find ways to make our situations better or worse
yeah,
in
you could
some way.
always still do something different. It's just you won't have to survive anymore. You
Yeah, like,
have that taken care of and you can do whatever it is that you want to do.
and I heard other people say we'll be able to focus more on creativity, creative
Yeah,
things, which I think would be great.
I do. I hope that that is the future. So I really feel like to follow, we talk about eating seasonally and how that's important information, but also now to live seasonally. And we're in the winter
Mm.
months now, it's getting colder. It's time to hibernate and slow down and, don't move a mile a minute. Try to slow your brain down, stop trying to do everything and just do a puzzle and watch I really like to watch those cheesy Hallmark holiday movies. Like that's my jam.
I love this idea. It's not an idea. This is how we should live. You know, we're supposed to live in harmony with nature, and the more you live in harmony with nature, the more peace and just meaning you're going to have in your life. We're forcing, when you force yourself to work as hard as you would work in spring and summer, in the winter, it's just not going to bring you the same things, right? There's reasons for the season. I had
Yeah.
to say
Reasons for the
it.
seasons.
Like you said, the days are shorter in the winter. It's colder. It's time to hibernate and just relax,
Yeah.
recoup, heal, find peace,
And
and
also
prepare.
is think outside of the box. So I I was talking, this is, I'm going to tie it together. So when we were at my brother and sister-in-law's, their son needed to eat, but it was late and we were getting takeout and he needed to take a bath because he was overstimulated, hadn't had a nap, you know? And I said, why don't you feed him in the tub? And they were like, I could tell at first they were like, what the hell is she talking about? But I was like, yeah, just bring some stuff. So they did that and they were like, oh, wow, you can get your kids to eat a lot when they're young if you do it in a cool place and you just like are force feeding them basically. So they were able to feed him fully and make him eat a ton of food and get that done and then go to bed and all that stuff. But I like to say, think outside the box. Last night, the girls were in a crazy mood, but also I felt very special because we were back at home and it was warm and it felt safe and serene. And I was just very happy yesterday and grateful, I guess. And I lit the fireplace and the girls are talking about something and I was like, oh, do you guys want to go make a picnic? And they were like, yeah. So they put out a blanket and some pillows on the floor. And I got this stool and I put these, like a little short stool next to the floor. And I put these dishcloths that I have that I just got, their peppermint dishcloths. And I put that over and I put a little couple fake candles and I made it look really cute. And we had a picnic in front of the fireplace.
That's cute.
And I felt, it felt so good. You know,
Yeah.
so I want just take a moment to try to think, how can I just make this feel special right
Make an
now?
ordinary situation
Yes.
special.
How to make an ordinary situation feel special. That's
Yeah.
right. And so, and I did that too with the kids at the church. I let them have like a little tea party and I found all this little dishware and I just was like, oh, you want some tea? And I pretended like I was a server for breakfast or whatever. And it's just the little things like
It
that, you know?
is. That's the ones that your kids are going to remember the most. I think everybody thinks that if they want to bond with their kids or even their significant other, that you have to go, like if it's with your husband, that you got to go on a date and at a fancy restaurant and spend all kind of money, or you have to bring your kids to do some kind of expensive activity outside of
Yeah.
the home. But I promise you, I see it on my kids every single time. Every time we do like a simple, like ordinary life thing, but we do it special, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or just something simple. They love that. And
Yeah.
they talk about it forever. That's how I know that they loved it so much, because they'll talk about it 3 years from now, how
Mm-hmm.
much they loved that. And that's how you really build bonds. Bonds aren't really built when you're going to Chuck E. Cheese. Not to
Yeah.
say that they can't, but it's not as special. It's not, there's not any real thought or meaning put into it, I guess.
Yeah.
So
No.
don't ever think that you can't work on relationships without money or
Yeah, just look around at what you have. When I was thinking about that yesterday, I just went step by step. Okay, what are we going to do for a table? Stools, you know. All right, what about a tablecloth? Because it's bathroom stools, you know, kind of gross. And then I was like, oh, I just have these new cute like dishcloths, you know. And then it just like kept, oh, I have some like battery powered candles on the table. And so it was just very easy to throw something really cute together. And
yeah.
then I have fresh cranberries and I put them in the girls' drinks, you know, and they were
That's
like,
cute.
mommy, it's got a cranberry in it, you know, and I mean, that's nothing, but you just have to think, what do I have available to me right now?
Yeah.
You know, so yes.
Even with your significant other, like maybe just go and sit on the hood of your car outside at night and stare at the stars.
Yeah.
I know when Nick and I first got together, he brought me down the bayou, at one of
Yeah, he
his
did.
fishing spots, because there's less light pollution
Mm-hmm.
down there, and to look at the stars. And nobody had ever done anything like that for me, and I thought that was
Oh,
so cool and sweet and simple.
yeah.
Um, just things like that. I thought I'd mention that because that's a cute idea.
Yeah, and yesterday the girls and I did a manifestation thing where we just went outside and sat in a circle and we wished for the things that we want. And I have my things, and the Arabella wished for to find cool bugs that she can look at up close because last week we found this huge cricket in my backyard. I mean, sucker was probably like that big. It was, I mean, not that big around. I guess that like maybe
Those
it
black
was.
ones?
No, it was green,
Oh, really?
but it was
Wow.
big, and I got it to come walk on my hands, and it was really crazy. And when he eventually jumped off, the power, the force of him jumping off was crazy.
Wow, that's cool.
So yeah, Arabella wished to find more bugs that we can look at. So it can be really easy stuff that your kids can wish for too, and there's nothing wrong with putting that out in the universe. It's only positive stuff.
Yeah. Or pray
Eh,
for it, whatever is your
yeah.
thing.
But we just really have to slow down, kind of getting back to topic, because if we don't do the things that we need to do during this time, that's when we feel a little more depressed. We get sicker easier, and that, just builds disease and all those other things. If we can't slow down and we just keep going, go, 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 eventually you can't go anymore and you're going to hit like a rough spot.
Your body's
So,
gonna force you to slow down,
yeah,
like
like
mine
you.
just did. But it's not gonna come in a good way, right?
Yeah, it's not going to come when you want it to or anything,
Or
or not
how
that
you
you would
want it
ever
to.
want it to.
Yeah.
But our bodies need that, and we needed this season. It's the perfect time, getting dark earlier, to just say, all right, let's just hang out and do whatever.
And not just we're not just talking about relationships with others, but you also need to focus on a relationship with yourself, loving
Yes,
yourself. That is so
self-care.
important. I remember hearing people say that it's so important to love yourself, and I just couldn't understand that. No matter
Yeah.
how hard I tried, I couldn't understand how you love yourself. That sounded weird to me. Do you relate to that? I don't relate to it. I understand it now.
Yes, I do understand what you're talking about. I just always thought that sounded ridiculous, I guess.
Yeah. And so it's something I started working on, and I get it now, and I do love myself, and it's so important. It's like the old saying, you have to fill your own cup before you can fill anyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just so true. You could
Yep.
try to keep filling everyone else's cup, but you're just going to run yours so dry and you're going to be depleted. So you really need to take time out of each day to
Do
just ponder,
whatever
think,
you think,
pray,
do whatever you
manifest.
want, take a bath, read a book,
Yeah.
whatever it is that brings you peace, but also some definite time set aside to be reflective.
Yeah, like just sit still.
Yeah.
Don't look at your phone.
Yes, no, do not look at your phone.
That's because none of us are sitting still anymore. I remember as a kid, I would go take a bath and I'd get dry off. I'd be in my towel and I'd just go like lay on my bed in my towel. Because I'd
Yeah.
probably be like red as a crawfish because it'd be so
Yeah.
hot, just like cool. But I would just stare at the wall for probably an hour. It felt like an hour. I would do that often and I would just think, you know?
Yeah.
And we hardly do that anymore because every free moment where we would do that, we pick up our phone,
Yes.
and we just stare at it aimlessly. Um, that is the worst thing about a phone.
Yeah, and I find if I leave the red screen on all the time, then it really makes my phone less desirable, and I find it easier not to do it. And also, it got in my head about it being dopamine, and so
Yeah.
every time I pick it up in my head, I just think, "Oh, this is dopamine. You're just setting yourself up not to feel good." And so, red screen plus that, and I haven't really even.
Yeah, I've been working on it a lot. I don't look at my phone as much. I took the app off my phone, but I can still search it, so I can still pull it up easily. And so I still get on social media sometimes, but I've been way better about it. I've been trying to not feel the need to post on there, and
Yeah. I've
just
been finding some really cool groups that I enjoy. When I
yeah.
do get on, I enjoy reading a thread and seeing what people said, and I'll usually do a couple of those and then I'm done.
I love the groups. That's the main reason I still love Facebook, but it always leads me into like do that, but I'll scroll across other things too, and then it's just
Yeah.
like you know. But it's just nice to just live life and not worry
Yeah.
about that damn phone. Just live life.
And then also like charging it in another room. It just is less attachment. I'm less attached to this object. I'm using it for functionality and what I need to do,
Yeah.
and not just constantly going to it for satisfaction.
Yeah.
I think another big thing that's really helped me is my morning routine and
Yeah.
doing waking up early. Sometimes though, if I don't want to wake up early, I'm not going to wake up early. And that is what it is. This morning I didn't want to do it. And whenever I feel like that, instead of meditating, I'll actually just play videos on YouTube, like manifestation videos, affirmations or meditations, and then I'll doze and I'll still just be like listening to it. So I'm still like absorbing the message, but I'm not actively doing anything, you know?
Yeah. A
So
morning
that's like my
My
what I
morning
do.
routine is like my favorite part of the day. Like I
Hmm.
look forward to that
Me too.
every single day. I just love the morning. It's just ironic because it always like the rest, all of my earlier years, I hated mornings.
I know.
But now I love it. I go outside, I sit in the sun and kind of just wake up a bit, just think,
Yeah.
kind of just sit there. Nick, when he's home, sometimes if it's cold out, he's not going to come out. If it isn't, he'll come out with me. But I always wonder because we have a big French door with glass, and so you could see me sitting in there. I always wonder, like, he's probably like, "What did she just do? She's just sitting there, like, staring off."
Just
But
sitting there thinking about antibiotics.
yeah, he knows I'm weird though, so it's okay. Um, but and then I'll go mess around in the garden. I'll do my little meditation, and it's nice. I'll go ground while I'm grounding in the
Hmm.
garden, and it's just nice. It,
No, I
it
know.
really
I love
sets the
it too.
tone for the whole day.
It really does. And it's important to get some time before you start getting in the zoomy mind, you
Yeah, and
know,
if you have to go to work, I would highly recommend like waking up 30 minutes earlier just to,
something.
and I promise you that will totally change the outcome of your whole day.
Yeah.
It's
I
got to,
really
at least in some form.
I really find it gratifying to do my stuff. I haven't been doing it because we were traveling, and it's weird someone being in someone else's house and like trying to escape from the room to go do that stuff is, and it's also cold, like I couldn't go outside.
Oh yeah.
So I really didn't even get outside this whole weekend because we're just inside. It felt like -12, I think.
So I could never live over
I know, I
there.
was like, this is awful.
Yeah.
And then you have to take the kids and stuff. You have to take your jacket off every time you get in the car, and then
Oof.
put it back on every time you get out of the car. And they can't wear the jacket in the car. You know, it's not good to do that. It's just pain, man.
Yeah.
And then you have to take your shoes off every time you go inside someone's house. And I don't know. I guess that's like I do that anyway at my house, but I don't know why I hate doing that everywhere else. You know?
I wanted to implement that rule in my house just because I just don't want nasty floors. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna implement this rule, but to force company to take their shoes off when they come over feels weird to me. I'm just not used to doing that, and
I don't know. I
I
know
know a
it.
lot
I
of
guess
people
that
wouldn't want
is
to
it
do
because
that.
it, but in up north you have to because your shoes are full of ice and wet,
Yeah,
so you can't bring them in someone's house. But I guess it is a southern thing because it feels weird to us because we're not used to that concept. But once you say, "Oh, your shoes are wet," it's like, "Oh, well, obviously I can't wear
yeah,
wet shoes in someone's house," you know?
yeah. It's just like I could. So many people are uncomfortable taking their shoes off. Like,
Yeah, and
oh,
it's
what if
like
my
you have to be
feet stink? Or
prepared. Like I can't just, I don't know, I don't like to go barefoot, so I need slippers, and it's just like this layer of complicatedness for some reason.
yeah,
Um, so and even so I do a lot of different things. I try to do these things. I don't always do all of them, but I like to start with breath work. There's a 10-minute video that I love that gets me in the right headspace. And then I'll do usually 10 minutes of a meditation. There's another video that I really like because I do all guided stuff. I don't usually just sit there with my brain. I struggle to just sit down and not think of anything.
yeah.
It's hard. So I kind of need help being prompted right now. I'll do that. I'll do affirmations. Then I'll do some stretches, my neck and all kind of other stuff, and then exercise for 15 minutes. But that's like that's basically 2 hours right there.
Yeah, my morning routine is pretty lengthy. Just because honestly, I can make it shorter. I just enjoy it so much. I
Yeah.
don't do workouts or anything. I want to, but I just can't. I do meditate. I do a guided meditation. I have that original one that you sent me that I just love that one.
Hmm.
That one just resonates with me. And I do that one every day. And then sometimes I'll just listen to inspirational things as well, like, or the
Wisdom
wisdom
nuggets.
nuggets. Yeah.
Wisdom nuggets is my
I
jam.
think I've listened to almost all of them though
No
now.
way. He has like
Not
thousands.
all of them, but
The
I
best
guess a
ones.
little, it kind of gets a little redundant after a while.
Yeah,
Once you've
I
listened to all
love.
the concepts, I guess.
Yeah, if you guys haven't gone and listened to Wisdom Nuggets on YouTube, you're missing out. That dude is like
Yeah.
so awesome. I love so many of those things, and it really like man, it really brings some stuff home for me listening to that stuff. It's all positive stuff too. It's like maybe you don't believe in it, but it's all good stuff. It's nothing negative in there, you
Yeah.
know. It's
Yeah.
all
Whether
just
you believe
peace.
in manifesting and, you know, what do you call that? Uh, I don't know. Like people who think we're aligned with the solar.
Constellations. Yeah,
Uh,
like all that. There's so many different things. Yeah, all this stuff's just
but yeah, it's all positive. You
positivity.
don't have to believe in it, but it's just good stuff. It's wise with it's wisdom. Honestly,
Yes,
it's gonna help you in your
absolutely.
journey.
That
I
doesn't mean
believe.
that you have to do it, but don't rain on my parade.
Yeah. Um.
Even if you just take time to have a cup of coffee by yourself,
Yeah.
that's even that. If
Yeah.
it's 10, 15 minutes, do that.
That's what
But
I was
don't
gonna
just
say.
go
Like
into the routine
it
of,
doesn't have to be what we do. We
yeah,
do
no.
something kind of similar, but it could be whatever would bring you peace in the morning. But focus on yourself and growth. Like
Personal growth.
yeah, reflect on yourself, things that you want to change, things you want to focus on, what's important to you, calm yourself, think good things. That's why I like affirmations. I've been
Hmm.
doing affirmations with Pedal every day. They have a kid one that's really cool. Like, and I think affirmations are really good.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah,
And also teaching our kids to do it too. That's been another thing that I've been
right.
focusing on is teaching the girls positive things.
I'm excited to teach my kids these things because I feel if I would have known these things at a younger age, man, where would I be now?
Yeah.
Not that I have any regrets or anything, but I'm glad to be able to give these tools to my kids at a way younger age and teach them how to, emotional health,
Hmm.
mental well being, how to love yourself, how to recognize your feelings, and
Yeah.
all of that stuff,
Such
That's stuff
big
that we're
stuff.
struggling to figure out now.
I know. And then today I was teaching the girls because I have this crystal book and we put the crystals out in the moon and the sun today. The girls wanted me to read the book and I was kind of teaching them that stuff. And, you know, people might not be into that at all and think it's total BS and that's fine. But I was thinking about that, what people would think about it, I guess. And, ultimately, like we're teaching our kid that Santa Claus comes and
Yeah.
come on. I can't, I'm thinking, is it really that bad for me to teach them that maybe this crystal could help them not worry or something?
And the fact is though, the crystals have energy in them, like
Hmm.
they do,
No,
and
they absolutely do.
we are energy beings, and so it could, in theory, whether you believe that or not, could have an effect on you. So
Yeah.
it's really not that crazy. It's just society just makes you, we're so stuck in our ways and the things that we think that it's like,
Yeah.
oh, everybody thinks that's crazy, I'm gonna think that's crazy too, you
Hmm.
know
And I can't prove with science that this crystal did that, and there's no studies, so it must not be true, all that stuff.
yeah, but
So anyway, aside from crystal talk, but kind of about crystals is another big thing is getting with nature. Like go for a hike for, I know it's cold out, but go for 20 minutes for a hike. Just take a break. I run out in my yard in the morning to ground, even though it was like super cold.
yeah, just walk outside for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, a minute,
Yeah.
something, you know?
Go for a bike ride. Just do something that makes you happy, but you got to get outside, even though it's like overcast and not as, it's not a
Yeah.
beautiful,
But always
spring day, but
try to appreciate nature. You know what I mean?
mm,
Even if it's overcast, try to find the beauty in the overcast, in the rain, and find don't just go out there. Like try to be grateful for it, appreciate it, see the beauty in it, be one with it, be in
mhm.
harmony with it. Um, it just brings such a profound peace over you.
I know, and it really is when you stop go 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 and you take the time to appreciate those things,
Yeah.
you'll find 10 more things to appreciate and things that are wonderous and beautiful and you know all these different cool things about, the nature. And then also I find that I think that way about people too.
Yeah.
Whenever I talk to different people, I like, Mike says I'm psychoanalyzing. I'm not psychoanalyzing, but I'm always, I guess because I'm so empathetic with people, I'm always trying to understand, try to understand from what they're perceiving. I'm always like, well, maybe he felt this way, or
Yeah.
I'm always thinking like that and trying to figure out someone else's perception. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm wasting a lot of time doing that.
I mean, I do too. Like, I try to, like, I feel like some people are so quick to just judge, judge, judge. But Nick thinks that I'm just always giving everybody, I'm naive, he says. I'm naive, but I don't believe that people are just inherently bad or stupid or whatever. People have reasons for why they do things, right?
Yeah.
And you have to try to see it through their eyes, through their life, through their shoes, where they've been, as to why they think and do what they do,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I kind of liked where you were going with that, because you said, like I just said, try to appreciate things in nature. And I think you were about to say try to appreciate the good things in people, right? Instead of like
Yes.
focusing on their bad traits, which is
Yeah.
something I've been trying to work on, because I noticed that I always considered myself to not be a judgmental person. I
Mm-hmm.
really did. I don't think I'm a judge. I really, like, deep down, I'm not. I'm very understanding of people, but I guess I was kind of judgmental on a lot of levels.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know, like, where I lost my way with that. I don't know, but it was bothering me, and I knew I wasn't right about. Like, I always knew I was wrong. Every time I would have those thoughts, I would just be like, oh, like, I knew I was wrong. So it's
Mm-hmm.
been something I've been trying to work on, and I've been trying to just see that, like, people that I don't like, for example, um, instead trying to see what I do like, and trying to like love them anyway,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
And
and
finding
that,
the thing that makes them special to you or whatever, like
yeah.
the thing that you can bond over. There's something out there, that you have in common with that person. It's to find that thing.
Yeah, and that's been really helpful, honestly. More
Hmm.
helpful than I thought it would be. I've actually, it makes you be, it helps you to see them in a different light,
Yeah.
you know?
I love that. I love learning people. I love hearing people's funny stories for the first time. When you first meet someone and you have all these funny things that you can relate to them and hear theirs. And I've always loved that part,
Yeah.
knowing stuff like, I guess, knowing intimate things about people. I don't know. I love connecting with people. And when I can't connect with people, it is really hard for me.
Yeah.
And I'll feel them being closed off or whatever. And I really struggle with that. And so but I feel like I was struggling this weekend to connect. Um, but they were just going through their own stuff, and they had told us about that stuff that they were going through. And then after, understanding that, then we had time to be alone, and we were totally connected. It was just circumstantial kind of things that were going on, but I felt very disconnected, and I'm glad that I didn't let that make me disconnect myself. I
Yeah.
stayed connected and was able to finally get that connection that I wanted. So that's good too, to understand that people are going through their own stuff and something happened to them before they got there, or, it could be a million different things.
Yeah, and by seeing, like, the things, the good things in them, instead of focusing on what you don't like about them, allows you to actually build a relationship and
Mm-hmm.
actually work through issues that you might have. Rather than, if you were focused on the things that you don't like about them, it almost makes it impossible to even work on that relationship, because you're so
Yeah.
focused on what you don't like and what you don't want from them, that you can't even work on it. You can't even foster that relationship at all.
And maybe not even necessarily that you don't like, but things that you don't connect with them on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to say that I like all of the people that I hung out with this weekend.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about your people.
It's hard, man. It's hard to take people, to understand them and try to understand them, but also to come from a place with love and compassion. And I can also lose that with my own kids. And when they're
Yeah.
driving me crazy, I have to pause and think, how much I love something about them, because we can even lose sight of that in our very close relationships too,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's nice to humanize them, understand, oh, she's probably upset because that happened earlier. It's like this domino effect of things with kids and
Hmm.
people, you
Yeah,
know?
everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
and thinking like that just helps you to stay connected.
Hmm.
When you start focusing on the negative, you start to disconnect,
Disconnect.
distance yourself, and then
Yes.
relationships crumble and fall apart after
Yes.
time.
It's, you have to, relationships take effort, and you have to nurture them, or else you just won't have them anymore. And I don't think I love all relationships. So, you know, I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm a people person, I guess. So another big thing to do, to try to do, is to take time off. Like, is there a way that you can completely disconnect from work, let's say, for sure, you know, for a period of time? Like, hopefully you can get a week off during the holidays. You might not. Maybe you can get a couple days, maybe a weekend, and maybe you can't completely disconnect. And maybe it's just, you know, at night after work, then you completely disconnect from your phone, but some way that you can absolutely disconnect from your responsibilities, you know, in
Yeah.
our world, our rat race world.
And sometimes just let the dishes pile up. I do.
Yeah, that
Um,
too. Like,
let the
does it
laundry
have, do
pile
your
up.
kids have to take a shower tonight? You know,
Yeah, just
like,
let things slip through the cracks. It's gonna be okay. And the more you start to condition yourself to be okay with those things, the more it's not gonna bother you to let it slip through the cracks. At first, it's gonna be uncomfortable. Like
yeah.
you just want to go do it because it's so uncomfortable to let it slip through, right? To
Hmm.
see that sink full of dishes. But after a while, it's you enjoy the peace you get from just taking a freaking break.
Yeah.
And I just want to encourage some people. I know that not everybody like everybody has to work. But I know there's probably, at least in many situations, there's got to be couples out there where both of them are working. And if you really took a good look at your life and cut back on spending and altered your way of living, that maybe one of you would be able to stay home, you
Yeah.
know? Maybe like,
And
I
maybe you
mean,
need
you could
to,
even make big life changes. Sell your house to get a smaller house. Sell your car and get a cheaper car. If this is important to you, of course. If you want to work, then work by all means.
yeah.
But I just want to encourage people to think that, to realize that it could be possible and you could live a slower, simpler life. Ask yourself, what's more important to you? Having all these things,
Hmm.
buying all these clothes. I feel like a lot of people are working unnecessarily just to pay for things they probably don't need.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. A lot of people do have to work.
Hmm.
But like for my situation, for example, I was working and then I basically lost my job and I could have just went gotten another one. Instead, we just live with less,
Hmm.
and we make it work.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
brought a lot of
stressful.
joy to my life.
It can be stressful to try to live with less. I was going to do that. And then I don't know. I need to like revisit, but I don't know. I guess my job is kind of like I could do a little bit and make a little money here and there, you know,
And it just
luckily.
depends on what suits you, I mean, if you really think having all the things, like just whatever, mainly
I
just talking
know.
to people who think that they could live with less and that would be worth it for them,
Hmm.
just to know that it could be possible. Like you could really stop buying you could really just alter your lifestyle significantly to make that happen.
Yeah.
It could take big changes, but a lot of people think, oh, I'm not going to sell my house. I'm not going to get a cheaper car. But why not? If you really want that, if you really would like to be home with your kids every day and focus on your family,
Hmm.
then maybe it's worth it.
Yeah.
Consider it.
Yeah. It also, you know, we talked about taking breaks too, and I was kind of talking about for work, but even just on a day-to-day basis, you know, we talked about taking a break in the morning to ground yourself and all the things, but also taking a midday break to do the same thing. Go outside, breathe, look at nature, and take some deep breaths and ground yourself, recenter yourself, get back into it, because I've been going all day today, just nonstop, and I am due for a reset for sure.
I do that often, especially like midday. I start to get kind of antsy and or anxious, like
Hmm.
or just and feeling kind of just off. And I know like the fix for that is to just go outside, put my feet on the ground, and just be out there for a minute. And
Mhm.
I always feel better every time.
Another cool thing that I want to get into is humming, because when we hum, we can, it's the frequency and vibration of our own voice. And they say that it's very healing. If, you do the humming, it can reset your nervous system and all those things. It's just like one of those odd things. It feels so weird to do it, but I want to do it. So
Do
I'm
you have
going
to
to try
hum
to do
like a
that.
certain way or just hum?
I think you just hum, like you take a deep breath and you just go,
Uh,
like a ohm kind of. But I think there's different
well,
sounds. You
that's what
can
I was
Google it.
wondering. Yeah, because
There's
I've
different sounds that are supposed to do like different things.
okay, yeah, because I was watching Gaia, and one of the things that she was talking about, where you do the what you just did, the home, and she did it like really deep, and I was wondering
Yeah.
if it mattered, like if
I
like
think the deeper you can deep I want to say deep frequencies are really calming, like
relaxing,
bass and
yeah.
stuff like that. So probably yes. And then taking breaks from electronics, social media, take a break from your phone, put
That's
it on red
huge.
screen and make it less appealing. Oh, another big one, put your kids' screens on red screen. There's no reason why your kids need to have a addictive blue screen that feels great. Make them have a red screen. I was worried because we were going on the plane and I was like, I'm putting my girls' screens on red. But I thought they were going to complain about it, and they didn't even like notice that it was on red screen. They didn't say a thing about it.
The sooner you implement things like that, the easier it's going to be to get your kids to
Yeah.
comply. But mine have to wear blue light blocking glasses, and then they have to
Hmm.
wear the red ones at night, which makes everything red anyway. Um, but yeah, screens cause a lot of nervous system dysregulation. The
Hmm.
blue light, it's just awful. It's going to make you feel awful. You don't realize it. I now that I pay attention, I can feel it. When I'm staring at a screen, I can feel the anxiety building in me, you
Hmm.
know? And I mean, people could say it's in my head, but I'm really in tune with my body these days. I really pay attention. I'm not thinking them into it. Because I can think things into it. I know when I'm
Yeah.
doing that. I can recognize it. But I can also recognize when things are happening. Like I know I can feel now when I go outside and ground that it's calming me,
Hmm.
and now I notice that the screens, they make me feel awful. They really
Yeah.
do. They make you feel not at ease, I guess anxious. And because you don't even realize there's also flicker. Like you ever
Hmm.
seen a video, like somebody a video, and you can see the lights flickering in
Yeah.
the back. All of our lights are doing that. All the screens, the light bulbs.
It's just like very quickly.
Yeah, we just don't notice it. But our cells and our everything, our brain is noticing it. So it's
Yeah.
very stressful on our body, and we're under that all day.
Hmm.
So to take a break from that is really, really important.
Yeah. Some things are small. Like I did, my phone's on red screen, my computer stays on red screen, but my lights at home are obviously not. I don't have the expensive glasses and I really don't want to buy them right now. But I also during the day try to keep as many lights off as I can.
Yeah, I do the
I try
same.
to just get by with the bare minimum of what I need.
Just use the sunlight through the windows.
Yeah. So there's some ways to, do that and implement it in your life that's not like super awful, but that can
Yeah.
make you feel a little bit better.
And the glasses
Um,
don't protect against flicker anyway.
yeah.
It's just a blue light.
So another thing to embrace in slow living is your creativity and hobbies. We kind of talked about that before, but what do you like to do? I know I have a friend and we went to her mom's house and she likes to do those little tiny, it's like little gym, not gemstones, but because I think it's just like plastic, but they look shiny, and you like put them with this special pin and put them and make like art with it or
Like
whatever.
bedazzle.
It's kind of like bedazzling.
Yeah.
It's like paint by numbers meets bedazzle.
Yeah.
And they're pretty, and that's what she likes to do. And everybody's got that thing that they like to do. I like to do everything, so I'll just dabble in things constantly. I don't
Yeah.
really like have any big thing that I love to do all the time. I love to read.
You just have to be careful with hobbies that you don't start to make it a chore.
Yeah.
Because I can do that. I tend to do that, and I make it like my hobbies start to stress me out. So just make sure it's just something that
So you're,
actually brings
you're
you
nurturing
peace.
your interest, but not going away from the purpose of this, which is to live slower.
Yeah, like don't make it mandatory.
Yeah. Connect with your family. We're beings that desire once long, long, long ago in the caveman era, they used to be alone. But then once cavemen started finding other people, they started to make communities. And it was, we've only just broken out of our um, community setting in the last, I would say, maybe since the 1920s, sort of was like Great Depression kind of time when people stopped living all together in like their family kind of communities.
I mean, it depends on your culture,
Yeah, it
really.
depends on where you live and your culture too. But, we've gone away from being communities. People used to take care of their parents at an old age. It was very unheard of to send your families away
Yeah.
to nursing homes and stuff like that.
And there's a reason, yeah, there's a reason that nursing homes like don't didn't exist back then. Like our family, old people are supposed to be able to rely on their family to take care of them,
Yeah.
and it's not like nursing homes are always supposed to exist. And
Yeah.
I had brought this up to Nick the other day. I was like, we all feel so stressed from raising our children. Like it's just such a huge task. It's almost more than it should be, right? It consumes so much, and it's because I think we're doing it wrong. We were never
Yeah.
supposed to do it alone. The saying of "it takes a village" is exactly right. We were
Hmm.
supposed to be in community with all of our kids running around together, with all the adults chipping in to take care of these kids together. We were never supposed to be raising these kids just mom and dad
Yeah.
with the
Or
kids.
sometimes just mom, or sometimes just dad,
Yeah,
because the other one works so much.
it's just too much. It feels like too much. It doesn't feel natural to
Yeah,
me
I know
anyway.
whenever I bring my girls to my mom's house and she watches them, it just brings me joy because I got a break and also they got a break and they got to do something out of the ordinary. And then
Yeah.
she got to spend time with them one on one. It just like feels amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy. I have this very strong desire right now. I call it the family farm. And I've been manifesting it a lot lately. And what I wish for is I would like a farm, like a big, big, huge piece of property, like maybe 20 acres or 40 acres. I don't know. And I would like to have whoever wants to come, like I'll parcel the land to them, like they'll be their land, they make their house, but we live in a kind of community, but we're also split up, it's not like it's like right next door or
Yeah.
anything, but I can have, me, my mom can have a place, my dad can have a place, you guys can have a place, your parents can have a place, whoever, Mike's parents can come build a cabin on the place, my brother and sister-in-law could have a vacation cabin or something, and we all have this place that we are connected with, and we have
Yeah.
a like I have great plans for this. We have a spring for natural water on site, and we have mountain view. That's really important. And animals, and I manifest it all the time.
I know. I actually have that on my manifestation list as well, but mine, I want hundreds of acres. And yeah, I want it. It's my whole goal is to have a lot of land to leave as a legacy for my children, for generations to come, to have a place to, and I want a community, I do
Yeah.
want community too.
I want to make sure my parents and my aunt and all and my uncle are like all taken, and Mike's parents are all taken care of.
Yeah.
I don't want to abandon at a nursing home again because we did that with my grandma. I don't want to say abandon, but it just feels like that. No matter what
Yeah.
you do, it's gonna feel like that. And so I hate to do that again, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll manifest for it. You guys will know. So, another thing about, we kind of talked about in our last podcast is overspending. And in the holidays, it's very easy for us to overspend, but now's the time to, tighten up and don't just spend money and don't buy gifts just to do it. Only buy stuff that's purposeful and meaningful, and you don't feel like you have to get gifts for everybody. Just do what you feel is right, but don't go overboard because that's just going to stress your pocketbook, lead you further away from living slow, and probably stress other people out from having too much junk in their house too.
And just focus on meaning and
Yes.
thoughtfulness and love rather than, oh, I just have to buy them something.
Yeah, and I was even thinking for our family get together about white elephant, but then I was like, I think I want to do like a craft, something that we can do together to be connected instead of, having to buy something.
Yeah.
So it's like if we nurture this life, we figure out what we want. That's first. You have to figure out what you want. What do you
Yeah.
really want? Take time and think about that. What's really important to you.
That is
And
important. Sorry, I really think people like you can't grow and really thrive in life without knowing who you really are and what you really want in life and what
Mhm.
really makes you happy. Um, I feel like that's something I finally discovered who I am the past few years and what I really,
Mhm.
really like knowing what you really want and what your purpose and your goals are in life and being really happy and comfortable with yourself, loving yourself is key. That has to come first before
Mhm.
anything. But yeah.
Yes. Figure out what makes you the most happy. So I'm most happy when my husband's home and we're doing stuff, just random stuff, being all together, doing meaningful things, setting up next to the fireplace and having dinner together and purposefully kissing my kids and touching my husband, not inappropriately. And that stuff just makes me so happy. Getting outside, so happy. Getting connecting with our family makes me happy. So all those things, and that's probably, I mean, I bet most people will say that those things are also, when they deep down think about it, is like the exact same thing for everyone.
Yeah.
you know? So just figure out what you want and then manifest it. Tell your, write it down, or don't even write it down, but just try to make those things a reality. How can you do that? How can you make the next couple weeks special in your life and, take advantage of this time together that we have that's so precious? Because, every day can be an amazing, amazing day if you just want that enough that you are willing to dive deep and work at it.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, we hope that you like this episode, and that figure out what you want and manifest it into reality, and that you hug your loved ones and really connect with them over the next few weeks and always. But we really appreciate it. We hope you like, subscribe, share with a friend that you think could really benefit from this message. And we hope to see you again next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.